Okay, when we got here, okay, we wanted to put a program together for you. Okay, and that's not just me and the coaching staff or the players. Okay, that's everybody in this building. Okay, so before you leave here, okay, with the treatment and the equipment and the video and everybody around us, okay, I'm thanking you for where we're at right now. Okay, we all got a long way to go, okay, and you guys are going to help us get there, okay, together. But that was the plan. Not just the players, not just the coaches, the entire program. Okay, everything we do, okay, we're doing to help you, to go out there and make plays, to perform, and to ultimately win. Okay, I'm proud to be your coach, and I appreciate how hard you play. Okay?
Okay.
You do love that, Archie.
Yeah, I did love that. I know we got to read this graphic,
Yeah.
but maybe when we come out, we could talk about what he said, because he was talking about the people in that building that actually make it go, that you actually talk to every day, deal with every day, see on a day-to-day basis throughout the day, that if you don't have the equipment staff, the training staff, and all of those people focused in one area, you can't truly build the culture in the building. And I think that was something we showed for the first time about what Mike Vrabel has done in New England. That says a lot about the way the team plays on the field.
Yeah, obviously, you two, we heard you guys, Mina. We love being with you, as we always are on a Friday. Really interesting when you see those offensive numbers, and one of the things that Mike Vrabel did is bring back Josh McDaniels. So when you look at this offense, Dan, what strikes you?
Yeah, I think right now it's in the middle of the season. Everyone's really started to master their role on the perimeter. We've talked about how it's almost each guy week by week steps forward. And now what you're watching is those guys thrive in those roles. I mean, Steph has become, once again, an elite slot receiver. Watch the left side of your screen. Mac Hollins, and we talked about the Buffalo Bills missing him. This is a team that runs the football. Mac Hollins is a massive reason why they are run the football so well. Henderson picking up pressures. Pop Douglas consistently winning one-on-one, crossing the field in man coverage. And the Hunter Henry, a tight end who's played in the NFL for a long time, they're creating matchups for him. 2-3 years ago, he was an afterthought in this offense. And so it's not only at their ability, it's like each guy has really started to hone in and master in that role. And I know we constantly do this with the Patriots, but that's exactly who they were in their heyday, is each guy being so dominant in his role. And it feels like we're replicating that right now.
What strikes me watching this offense, and really struck me last night, is just how much defenses now fear the passing attack. I mean, you guys go to last year, this is a team that faced tons of man coverage, teams stacking the box. No one was afraid of them going downfield. And last night, and this has been the case now for weeks, teams are playing way more too high against them. They're leaving things open underneath because they're afraid of getting bombed by Drake Maye, as they should be. He has arguably been the best deep passer in the NFL last year. I mean, this is a Jets defense that primarily plays man coverage, but played zone 80% of the time in this game. You saw that open up things on the ground. And you also saw why Stephon Diggs was such an important pickup, especially when they get those looks in zone coverage. Such a precise route runner, such a great feel for space in zone, so good at making himself available to the quarterback. It is really, really remarkable to see, considering what this offense looked like last year.
Yeah, and I love the Josh McDaniels piece from Dan, because when you look at the touchdown on the pass to Travion Henderson, they were able to create a short field outside flood from basically a pony personnel split back look with Stephon Diggs in the backfield. That's just not something you see from some of these quote unquote old school offensive coordinators, right? They are continuing to age with the time. Right, having Drake Maye and giving him opportunities to be this quarterback that has this unique feel for the different things that they're doing. And so now as you go forward, you have to continue to keep the gas down, right? Continue to put your foot on the pedal. When some of these games that you're supposed to win as the schedule goes on, you have to win. You have to go beat the Bengals. You have to beat the Giants. You got to get the Jets. You have to get the Dolphins. And then you got to think about at least a split against the Bills and the Ravens, because now the playoffs have to go through Foxborough. Obviously, they aren't one of these teams that you feel is unbeatable, but they continue to win. They're continuing to progress and get better, and they will be difficult to beat at home, especially if they're the number one seed.
And I just think it's really interesting to watch Drake Maye play right now. It's because when he was coming out of school, I don't remember anybody talking about how impressive he was in the pocket movement. I don't know the last time we saw a young quarterback move in the pocket like this. I would go back to maybe Andrew Luck, because in college he didn't have to do it. It was an RPO offense. It was catch and throw. He is so impressive moving in the pocket. I think that's touching on Mina's point is I think that's one of the things that has really made the pass game scarier is it's the initial play and now it's the secondary play because how good he is at just moving, avoiding, stepping up, still being a passer, creating plus plays. It's very Andrew Luck-like right now.
He's top the MVP favorites right now.
And
he should be. And the Patriots have the best record in the NFL here in Week 11. All right, this is new on NFL Live from Adam Schefter. Lions tight end Sam Laporta is listed as out for Sunday night against the Eagles due to his back injury. Only the second missed game of Laporta's career. And let's get into that monster matchup. And we saw last week Dan Campbell taking over play calling duties for the first time in 4 years. And the Lions absolutely dominated the Commanders. His points of emphasis were really clear. Detroit set season highs in play action usage and motion at the snap, leading to season highs in yards after the catch and yards per rush. I mean, it was so interesting. It was just exactly down the middle, by the way, with pass plays and rushing plays. How can the Lions now try to exploit that Philly defense?
Yeah, so it's always hard to know how much to read into Commanders games, candidly, because of their defense. But they did something.
Sad
it's
to
just
say.
true, right? But they did something in that game that I actually think would be effective against this Eagles defense. And they leaned really into 3 wide receiver sets, especially, by the way, with the Laporta news, of course, right? But they were in 11 personnel, 3 receivers on the field, 67% of the time or something like that against the Commanders. And y'all know why you got to do that against Philadelphia. It's so you force them to put their third cornerback on the field. And if DeJean stays in the slot and it's Adoree Jackson outside, I want to see both Jamison Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown lined up wide, like they were actually a decent amount in this Washington game, so that you can attack the third corner. It's the right way to go after Philly. I was surprised, we didn't see that much from Green Bay. And I think it's something that Detroit can lean into. Now, I do think another thing they did in this game, the jumbo personnel with the 6 offensive linemen could be effective on the ground. You play action off of that. But for me, this could be another 3 wide receiver game, purely, Ryan, so you can hunt that matchup.
Yeah, and I think back to a conversation you and I were having in the car going to the stadium in Dallas, Mina, about the way the Vikings were able to heat up Jared Goff and keep Jahmyr Gibbs in the backfield on those third downs or those obvious passing situations. Vic Fangio, that's not the way he calls defense. Vic Fangio isn't a guy that likes to lean on pressure. He loves to give his opportunities to the guys on the back end so they can have vision to break. So I want to know, how are you going to pressure Jared Goff? Because I agree with Mina. You have a deficiency at the third wide receiver, and no teams has the type of mesh routes and deep crossers and play action passes that out leverage you or find ways to stem and get inside your leverage like the Detroit Lions, and we saw that against the Washington Commanders. So if you're Vic Fangio, are you going to break tendency in some way in order to get pressure up the middle on Jared Goff, or are you going to allow him the time to eat you up in the way that we've seen him do so many times, especially knowing where the matchup is?
It's the best defensive line the Lions have faced all season. And this is a Lions offensive line that's been at moments very good and at moments not necessarily what it was in the past. I think the thing that stood out to me on Monday Night Football was Jalen Phillips was so great in the run. And then that allowed some other opportunities for pass rushers, Jalix Hunt, Ojomo. I thought it was Jalen Carter's best game of the season. And so for a Lions football team, that new play caller, Dan Campbell, all that stuff, they like to be the bully, right? The Lions have become that team that just wants to punch you in the mouth. This is the best defensive line they've played this year. We're going to know how legit this Lions team is. The past 2 years, it's been legit. We'll truly know where this team, at least offensively, stacks up in this conference after this game. Because if they can handle this line,
is that more about the run for you? Because I feel like the run carries this team and carries this offense. When Jahmyr and Demo don't get going in some way, it truly hampers what they do offensively. So are you saying more so the front facing the run of the Lions?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. In both aspects, though, because Detroit's a both aspects offense, right? They're a balanced offense. If they can't handle this team in the run, obviously massive advantage Philly. But we don't really know how good this Lions team is because some of the injuries that they've had, we're going to know how legit this offense is after this weekend.
Yeah, and that O-line has allowed the 6th lowest pressure rate this season. But as you said, this is the ultimate litmus test for those guys.